At 6:29 in the morning, Mom stormed through the door of my room. "Come, there's an alarm." That morning of the 7th of October, even after hours of my family never leaving our shelter, I couldn't have imagined the nightmare that was about to become our new reality. Few hours before, everything was normal, and I was with friends, and we had normal thoughts about normal plans and normal worries that today seem like nonsense. And how suddenly, day later, the strong smell of fire that penetrated the windows of my house carried with it a terrible feeling that everything might be over. This whole miracle called the State of Israel, the warm and beautiful and diverse and culturally rich and special home that we all built with our own hands, might disappear. Existential anxiety has descended upon us. The walls of the home were destroyed, and messengers of death entered in. Hell on earth unfolded before us. Our brothers and sisters were slaughtered, burned, raped, kidnapped from their homes. Heroes fell in the battle for the defense of the homeland, or as they ran away for their lives just after rejoicing in a pure music festival of love. Shalom, my name is Tal, and I'm honored to be the community shlicha, the community Israeli emissary, and I'm honored to stand in front of you today with my grandfather's dog tag and share with you my experience and thoughts. I was born and lived in Israel my whole life. Exactly 50 years after the Yom Kippur War, while Israeli society was struggling with one of the biggest divisions that it had experienced, the conceptia, that's how we say that in Hebrew, the idea that we were untouchable, was shattered. This obvious miracle, yes, there were probably some glitches in the system, and our enemies were cunning enough, and we were too sure. For a year now, a black cloud has been hanging over our heads, like a red flag in a stormy sea that warns, "Please do not enter the water." But we are already inside, and life is turbulent, so turbulent that fear sometimes takes over, and the water covers the head, and there is a feeling like it's impossible to breathe, because it is impossible. Since then, we forgot that our reality before October 7th was not normal either, because we simply got used to it. We got used to terrorist attacks. We got used to terrorist organizations that sit on our borders and just wait for the opportunity to eliminate us. 76 years we have been forced to choose war for the sanctity of life. And these days, when global hypocrisy and ignorance are rampant, we are forced to choose between optics and public opinion and our lives. We will forever choose life. And in what twisted world do we even have to justify ourselves? In what kind of upside-down world that has terrorism and murder and rape and slaughtered and burning become the legitimate norm? How does discourse normalize all these in the name of humanitarianism? All of these are wrong and misleading due to a total lack of knowledge. In response to every person standing in front of us with "from the river to the sea" signs, we must stand firm with signs of love and the cry to bring our brothers and sisters home. To every person who wears a mask to hide his identity and is equipped with weapons of lies, we must respond with the power of truth and love. Remove every mask from us and be proud of our identity, of who we are, the people of Israel. We were persecuted people from the dawn of history, but not anymore. There is a country. There is pride. No more hiding. No need to hide. In the pages of history, more will be written about Israel's defense for the sake of world security and freedom. I have lost friends since that day, those who were murdered for no reason, and those who fell in defense of the homeland. But make no mistake, I also lost friends because of the war, because I am Israeli. Anti-Semitism, as you know, even more so than I, this disgusting and pure hatred has sprung up from the deepest holes, like it had been there all along and was just waiting for the right moment to break out. Suddenly, hatred of Israel and hatred of Jews has become mainstream. I feel sorry for those people, but not for myself. If there is anything that they hate me for, let it be for the thing in which I am most confident in myself, that I love myself the most for, the most stable thing that will not move an inch, being Israeli, being Jewish, being a Zionist. Actually, how could I not be so proud of being, among other things, part of the miraculous nation whose beautiful face is revealed in its most difficult hours? After all, even all those who didn't put on the IDF boots and drove towards the south and the north to protect the borders and the citizens of the State of Israel, put on the uniform of action and left the house to do everything possible. How much bravery and how much unity, how much openness of heart and how much sacrifice were revealed in the deepest of the loathes. Now, with your permission, I would like to tell you about a meeting that happened a little over 2 years ago, just before the 74th Independence Day of the State of Israel. My company commander and I arrived at one of the kibbutzim in the north of the country and gave certificates of appreciations and flowers to 2 Golanchikim who defended the established state in the Independence Day War. One of them was Zir, 94 years old. Zir at the time was still teaching at the regional school. He shared, and among his words describing routine and profane, we find holiness in the form of vocation, Zionism and heroism. While we sat speechless, he was a little frightened by our excitement and asked to clarify. You have to understand, for us, there was no other option. This was our reality. The State of Israel rose before our eyes, and we couldn't help but join in. I suddenly remembered Miracles, a poem by the poet Yehuda Amichai. From a distance, everything looks like a miracle. But up close, even a miracle doesn't look like this. Even someone who crossed the Red Sea when it split saw only the sweating back of the man in front of him and the swaying of his big thighs. I wanted to shout with excitement. From a distance, everything looks like a miracle. But I kept silence, and I kept listening. I admired the story about the Battle of Bet Shean, and I was moved by his insistence to return and to defend after he was seriously wounded and lost a friend when a bomb landed right between them. And I laughed when he told about the huge shrapnel left in his head and that his grandchildren attach magnets and check if it's still there. And we left the house, and I still felt the miracle. From a distance, I thought to myself, what a great honor it is to establish a state. And up close, what a great honor to live in, in the beautiful land of Israel that is like a song that has been playing for 76 years, alongside a magnificent melody about an even more magnificent people whose history spans over 3,000 years. And now, we too, like our forefathers, the Israelites, who came out of Egypt, are unable to see anything but the terrible burden we carry on our backs. How absurd it is to mark a Memorial Day when the present and the past are swirling together like this, and the future is vague and unclear. But in fact, maybe this is the nature of our people, even if against our will. Just as any one of us should see ourselves as if we were taken out of Egypt, so any person should see himself as if he was kidnapped into Gaza, or as if he is now protecting the citizens of the state of Israel with his soul and body. We live our bloody and splendid history, and at the same time we live life itself. The sweetest lemonade is made from the sourest lemons. With hard work, sweat, and tears, we build the future of future generations as other generations built before us. We are the chosen people, but that doesn't mean we can stop working hard. We must also be the choosing people. The people who chooses every morning anew to get up and love, who chooses every morning anew to get up and be better. I grew up on a prayer songs for peace. The lines, I was born for the peace that will come. I was born for the peace that will just appear. I want to be in it. And also the lyrics, then just sing a song for peace. In every corner, in every home, in every educational institution, these songs are the inalienable asset of the Israeli society, Israeli culture, and the Jewish values. And although it's hard to see, I still believe that one day peace will come. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know it will come because we are people of love. We are a nation that does good, that fights for tikkun olam, a people who want to be in it already in peace. And as for peace between us, 1 hour earlier is fine. This is the first step. So it is true, those who are present in a miracle cannot recognize the wonder. And I know we are in for a miracle, I just know. I also know that many more miracles will come. But what do you do when the reality of the embodiment of the miracle is unbearably difficult? This is a time of faith, the belief that we will come out of the darkness and rise again, with God's help and with each other's help. We are a dancing nation, in the Western Wall Square, on the rooftops in Tel Aviv, in Uman, in the Forum in Be'er Sheva, in the fields, in the groves, in the desert, and in the Nova, dancing the dance of life. I wish we would wake up one day. I wish it would be tomorrow morning, or in 2 or 3 more days, and the hostages will come back home safely. The evacuees will return to our borders, and the soldiers will carry a victory gospel on their backs. And in the newspaper, it would be written, "Only good things happen today." You know what? I'm ready to settle for even nothing happened today. And then maybe, just maybe, our restless soul will relax a little. We will be able to take a deep breath, smile a real smile, without burden, sit comfortably with a cup of Nescafe, and observe this miracle, the miracle of the State of Israel.